Friends, do you know what I just sipped? Coffee. I would have preferred Miriokwa, the beverage from the food that my esteemed sister, Julius Vale Amalicha, noted that she ate today. Okwa, the Miri. That's what I would have preferred to be sipping. But as you know, it is said that if you go to Rome, you behave as the Romans. I'm in America, the land of coffee drinkers. So I followed suit. But if wishes were horses, probably I will be looking at Miriokwa. I'm going to pitch the idea of doing something about Miriokwa as a beverage for the early morning to my younger brother and friend, Chukwemeko Bimugo, who is into production of food and in our homeland too. I'm going to talk to us this morning about the state of affairs before colonialism wrecked our society. And I'm going to read from a prepared text, though there will be interventions from the head every now and then. The title of my talk is Before Wealth Divided Families. There was a time wealth strengthened the Igbo families. I'm talking from experience. The wealthy man did as much as possible to bring the poorer people closer and closer because we believe in Igwebuike. We believe that no single man, no matter how strong, will be able to fight all the battles that life pushes to us, but that groups are better able to handle tough situations. Presently, wealth divides our people. The rich become, quote, upper class and set up barriers between themselves and their family members. They become upper classes. They become part of the upper class in the society that is the most, traditionally, the most egalitarian in the world. I know that you, the reader or the listener, that you have not thought about this. You have not. Not everyone has an eye on history. History adewotego. Burying your head in books, writing them, reading them does not give money, so most of our people are not interested in it. But we can help the society by listening to those that invest in this area. Not everyone has an eye on history, so you will not be blamed, but learn to start learning. Before British colonialism and what it came with, there were no classes among the Igbos. The super rich and the poor lived together. I can use a lot of things to demonstrate it, but let me use how we lived to demonstrate it. There were no GRAs, no suburbs for the wealthy. People lived in their ancestral family lands. If you are a billionaire, if you are a poor man, you lived in your own ancestral land together. After progress, quote, and light, quote, came in through colonialism, GRAs were set up, and slums like Coal Camp Enugu came up. And gradually, a people who were one began to learn to become different peoples. They didn't know that we were becoming different peoples. I know many things I deal with from experience. If you have debts in the family, the wealthy members of the family may appear or choose not to. If they appear, they come with armed escorts. But if death occurs in the family of a fellow rich person, your rich family members will go there to celebrate with champagne. My people, the Igbos, unfortunately don't know that the Igbo people need far more attention than Nigeria needs. Nigeria is ailing, but Igbo society is even sicker. This is here for a purpose. A few days ago, I made a post on Facebook. I noted that a P2B presidency will stabilize Nigeria while the nations that make up Nigeria will rebuild themselves. Even Bunobi, one day the serious, now all these nations ahazie onwe ha, discover their purpose, mara ebe ha na-eje. Ọ ihe niile ka a na-ekwu na oyibo. Majority of ụmụnne anyị bịa na comment ebe ahụ anọghị ya. Aghọtaghị ihe. One, na ha aghọtaghị ihe m na-ekwu. Two, na ha aghọtaghị ebe ha nọ. Ha aghọta ebe ha nọ, they will say less and act and think more. Ha aghọtaghị ha mmadụ ebe ha nọ and ha aghọtaghị ihe m dere. Mana ofu nwanne anyị nwoke Nze Oliobi, I have a lot of respect for him, kwesịrị ịghọta m, kụziere ndị bịara ebe ahụ na-ekwu na nke ka ha believe in. Kedu nke iji aka? Peter Obi chia Nigeria. Ndị Igbo nwere more security ime ihe ọ bụla ha chọrọ, na ọ bụrụ na ha nwee program. Ma ha discover onye ha bụ. Na the first thing we discover godo onye bụ. Adụkwụ m surprise na nwanne nwoke Oliobi apparently aghọtaghị ihe m na-ekwu. Ihe okwu na Nigeria ga-ekolapse etu Soviet Union si wee collapse. Iji guarantee na ọ ga-ekolapse. Ọ ga-eji gọmjie together. Organize yourself and nwanne gị nọrọ on top. Inwe more security. Ka anyị hapụ nke a ka ọ dị n'akụkụ. Meanwhile, I don't assume that every land was the same. Meanwhile, don't assume that every land was the same like Igbo land before colonialism. There were classes in many Nigerian societies before the British came, and there were serious divisions, by the way, between the rich and poor. Many of these other societies had palaces, palace guards, eunuchs, and harems. Igbos, you know you had none of the listed. You know you don't have them. Well, this elicited a lot of responses, and some are critically very, very erudite responses. I'm going to refer to the one that by my younger brother, Chukwuemeka Maduka. I want to use his own to make a point. In essence, Chukwuemeka Maduka was saying that he thinks, okay, I better read directly. He said, even though this write-up is historically appealing, I don't know why he used appealing instead of saying it is true, because he knows it's true. He knows that in his hometown, in his republic, the rich and the poor live together. But is it really possible to have an egalitarian utopian society or existence? The Bible recorded a lot of accounts and history of classism. Perhaps what we had in the ancient Igbo history of no class division would have changed in time, just like most of life's activities. I think they like. What he said is historical, but I don't think he really understood what the Bible was telling us. The Bible was talking to us about the degeneration of mankind. I'm happy he brought it to the Bible, which happens to be one of the areas that I am an expert in. The Bible gave us a picture of a perfect world, and gave us a picture as well of how man began to decay and degenerate. And the core people that the Bible talked about, the Israelites, look at their history. Look at the Igbo society that we are talking about in this discussion. By the time Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, his grandson, were ordinary guys. Jacob and his sons were arguing forth and back. The peers of Jacob were already kings. In Esau, who was the older brother of Jacob, kings had already been produced, so many kings had already been produced by the time of Moses. But in Israel, it was not developed. So there were no classes. So, looking at the Bible and thinking you will find justification in the Bible will not help. Rather, the Bible will help to give you an idea of what should be. The Bible is not saying that the kingdoms, the classes that came about were ideal. The Bible was telling you, or is telling you, that it's not the ideal, that is a degeneration. So the point I am trying to make is, on this particular issue is, what the Igbos had was the ideal. The question is, could it be maintained? Of course, it should have been maintained. Because what is the world even struggling to be like? The world, I'm talking about the progressive parts of the world, are trying to be like the Igbos we are 300 years ago. When you look at democracy in America, look at democracy in Europe, these are developments. In the medieval era, they were like what the Igbos are trying to be like today. In other words, when the Igbos were egalitarian, the rest of the world was monarchical, filled with classes. Now, the advancing, the progressing part of the world is removing the barriers. I have a professor from the UK. He told me that his salary will not be much more than the salary of his driver if he is to have a chauffeur. Why? The British have seen that it makes no sense to have classes in society. You know, traditionally they are very, very hierarchical. But Igbos are busy trying to develop the classes. In other words, licking their vomit. I saw one dude from Anambra. He arrived in America. The normal red fez that Igbos found themselves wearing is no longer good for these guys. They are turning it into crowns. And one other dude living in America went to the airport and with a gong welcomed him. They said he's a traditional ruler. I have African American friends of mine who come up to me and say that they met Igbos online, that those Igbos are royalty, and they seem fascinated. They seem enthused. If I have time to talk, I take out time to tell them, don't be enthused by failure, by backwardness. You should lecture those people that are trying to impress you with backwardness. The African American society became its economy became the 11th largest economy in the world because of democracy, equality, egalitarianism. If you are like that society that you are impressed with, your economy won't be the 100th largest economy in the world. Because one man who may probably be an illiterate will be talking to you, talking for you, thinking for you. But you've developed all these powerful ladies and gentlemen you produced, most importantly, produced a community because you are not bowing down to any, quote, king. So I tell them, don't be impressed by the pretenders from the Igbo pretenders that tell you they are royalty. Traditionally, the Igbos don't have royalty. What we have are some people pretending to be royalty. And they should be ashamed. In the societies in Nigeria where you have real royalties, you don't find them making noise about royalty. So, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Subscription is free. But this channel is very important. It is where you find that information that you get nowhere else. Thank you and have a great day.